Hey guys. All right, so we are doing a Facebook Live today to let you walk with me through the process of searching for a queen. Not sure that I'm going to find the queen today. I do have 3 deep supers to go through, but I thought, you know what, while I'm doing it, it's some great beekeeping 101, so I'm going to take you through the process with me. I've already been in the hive for a minute. My dad actually is just pulling away because he's heading to the house. So I've already been in here for a little bit. We found some honey. We do have some capped honey, not a ton, but you know, more than we expected. So that was exciting. That took us a little bit just to kind of celebrate that success. So now we're going to go ahead without further ado. I've got 2 medium frames that we're going to remove, and then we're going to get to work looking for the queen, and you are going to come along with me. All right. So I won't be looking at the screen immediately, but if you do have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat. And when I get a moment to review the screen, I'll take a look, I'll see your question, and address it as quickly as possible, okay? Making sure that my smoker gets apparently relit because it went out on me a little while ago. So, give me just a moment. Let me get that taken care of. And it is a touch windy, of course. Ow! Doesn't want to light. All right, fresh fuel. Let's get started. All right, so as I said, we're taking off these mediums. Doing that now. Yeah, that's got great weight to it. Burr comb is what we call this. We usually try to remove it because it's arguably more in the way than helpful. And that's no fun. Get that out of there. Not as much weight on that one, but more weight than an empty super would have. Oh, well, that's not good. That was one of the wire supports that comes in foundation wax. All right, so this is all going to be for the bees. When we get to the point where we're doing our splits, all of these frames will go into a new hive. They are either going to contain food or brood. In all 3 of these deep boxes here, you're going to have food or brood. And so we now are specifically looking for the queen. At a minimum, we want to see signs of the queen. Real quick, I'm going to ask, does anybody know what signs of the queen means? What are we looking for when we are looking for evidence that the queen is here? I believe I have waited an appropriate amount of time for you to type. Besides, I'm not even looking at the screen. So if you are watching this video and you heard my question, what are we looking for when we are looking for signs of the queen, evidence of the queen? If you guessed egg and young larva, you guessed correctly. All right, so this is clearly a food frame. I don't know, can you see that in the screen? You should be able to see it. Yeah, you can see a lot of it. So this is a food frame. This has mainly honey on it. It might have some pollen in the corner, although I don't see any. Yeah, oops, sorry girls. Yeah, as you can see, that's all capped honey, which is great. We want to see that. They put that, if you've seen some of my other videos on YouTube, you'll know, because I've talked about it before, they put the honey frames in the brood chambers to the outside of the super, because they utilize that honey frame as insulation from the external temperature. So that's a kind of cool little thing. This is also food. This looks like, sorry girls, this like it's going to be the food super. Oh, that's kind of cool. Let's see if we can't get that in the camera. I have found a drone who is in the process of hatching. And you can see right there at my thumb, chewing his way out. It's going to take him forever. I know it looks like he's come a long way, but there's nobody going to help him. He has not made that hole very big, so it's going to take him a while to chew his way out. So I'm not going to stand there and hold that frame the whole time, but you can kind of guess how that goes, right? All right. If the next couple of frames are honey, and it looks like they will be, we are going to call this the food chamber. She will not be in it. I'm going to put it back together, and we're going to go down to the next deep. That is, oh, they are backfilling that, it looks like, with pollen. So there was larvae in it at one time, but that young has hatched into adult bees, and they are now backfilling with pollen. So she is not going to be up here. We're going to check one more for posterity's sake. That was pretty light. Ah, I shall be damned. We have larva. See, I'm glad I checked just one more. That said, it's older larva. So it's been a while since it hatched. Although we got some young larvae out there on the outside. So she may yet be up here. If we can find her, I may... Oh, shoot. I don't have what I need to be able to do a split, so no, I won't. Let's see. Well, no, I don't have any frames. So we're just going to see if we can find her, and then maybe we will isolate her. Yeah, that's not a bad plan. So what we'll do is if we find her, and you guys are here with me to agree or disagree, but if we find her in this one, we'll move her down to the bottom, and then I'll put this queen excluder on top of that, And then we will know that she is only in the bottom super, because the queen excluder will prevent her from getting up into the other deeps. That way, when we come along to do our splits, we know right where we need to go. Sound like a plan? If you are not experienced as a beekeeper, you're just going to agree with me because I sound like I know what I'm talking about. If you are a new beekeeper, hey girl, thank you. If you're a new beekeeper and you're not quite sure, you're going to agree with me just because I sound like I know what I'm talking about. If you're an experienced beekeeper, you may disagree with me, but come on, dude. You know that's a good plan. All right. Building a couple of queen cups. That doesn't necessarily mean they are ready to raise new queens here. Well, these frames are all torn up. We're going to get them through winter with some of these frames, and we're going to get rid of these bad boys. They are gross. It's a process, but still, it needs to happen. So anyway, you know it's a good plan. A lot of drone activity, which is great because we're getting ready to raise new queens. We want to see drone, because if we have drone in ours, that means the other colonies have drone as well, which means that new queen will have plenty of drone choices to mate with once she hatches. All right, so like with the drone earlier, you can see just underneath that abdomen protruding from the frame, you will see that a worker is chewing her way out. Oh, she's crawling on out. Look at that. We'll just hang out. Well, she's taking her time, huh? And you can see, try to get that into focus there. There we go. That's better. She's molted, or will be molting soon. Some of that is still clinging to the top of her head. Can't you see how helpful the other girls are? Just walking all over, stepping on her face and stuff, as if she is not there. She is either going to hatch on her own or crawl out on her own and be productive, or she's going to die in there and they'll pull her corpse out and toss her from the hive. Either way, you are on your own in trying to be useful to the colony overall. Efficient. All right. Now, she's taking forever, and I'm not just going to stand here and hold this thing. So thanks for playing along, but let's get back to work. However, it looked like I saw somebody with a heart face in the comment section. And you would be absolutely correct. Lisa, that was you. So thank you very much. You're exactly right. This is absolutely awesome. For those of you who don't know me personally, I'll go ahead and let you in. I have been doing this with my dad he's been at it since I was 3, which was a very long time ago. He's been at it for over 40 years. Oh, look at all this capped brood. All of that is getting ready to hatch, just like we saw in the last frame. And that's just amazing. Oh, there's even more over here on this side. Goodness, take a look. I'll put some of this on the TikTok and it will explode with views and likes and all that other kind of stuff. That's awesome. Anyway, it looks like the queen was in this super and then moved up into another deep super, and then it looks like we moved her back down. So she's down below, I think, personally. And heck, we've only got 2 more frames to go through up top here. She's down below, and I think we'll find her on the next go round, on the next one when we get down there. Oh, there's another wire coming out. Shoot. We'll just leave you alone for now. I don't have any wire clippers. This is all just going to be food. A little bit of drone brood in the corners. But otherwise just... Oh, look at that. They have built drone brood up here. That's larger cells than your traditional. So you can see right here how small these are by comparison. Actually, even right here next to them, you can see the smaller ones. These are built larger like that to accommodate the body of a drone as he develops in the frame. It's a lot of drone. But that's all right. We want a lot of drone. We're not going to waste time pulling that outside frame, because what did I say when we first started digging into this? Those outside frames are insulation frames. They are going to be just food. We're putting these frames back in the same order that I removed them in, because they have a specific purpose for doing their layouts the way that they do. And while, yes, I am being invasive in their home, I don't want to disrupt their layout. So we go back to the original positions, which is why I only took out 2 frames and then just moved the others over one at a time. Because now I put the other 2 frames, the ones that I initially took out, I put them back in place the way that I removed them. My hand is getting bumped, so it may be a little bit, maybe time for a little bit of smoke again to help them try to they've been very calm today, first and foremost, which is awesome. I love that. In a previous video, I got asked if I ever wear gloves. And the answer is traditionally no, I do not wear gloves. However, that same day, we went to working on a hive, and I got stung like 5 times in my hands, and so I said, nope, I'm done for the day. And took my suit off, got back to the car, took my suit off, I went home. And so we have gloves. See, look, that's why sometimes, can you see it? There we go. Yeah, sometimes it's smart for me to wear gloves. Now this hurts a lot, but I wanted you to see her pull that stinger out. And now you're going to watch, oops, my head got caught on the frame. Now you're going to watch me scrape it out. Yeah, that one was in there deep. You do not want to reach down and pinch. You've heard me say that before. Don't pinch it, scrape it. Because even though that stinger stayed in that time, the venom sac got pulled off. So it was no longer pumping the venom into my hand. So don't just pull it, because you'll squeeze that sac and squeeze that venom right on into you. It's a relatively dumb way to take care of it. All right. So anyway, I ordered some gloves, and they arrived, and I didn't bring them with me today. Because as smart as I like to think I am, honestly, I am not always the brightest bulb in the box. So anyway, we're going to get stung in the hand sometimes today. Feels like they built some burr comb in between the tops of the bottoms of these frames and the tops of the frames below, because that makes it much. Holy crap! Man, oh man, that was a deep super full of honey. This deep super, hopefully, is going to be full of brood and a queen. I got to get some more fuel in here. Sorry about this. Bear with me. I'm using straw for my fuel, and that's okay. That's good, actually. It's cheap for sure. But boy, it burns fast. Normally, I'll put some smoke pellets or something in there, because that'll help it burn a little bit. Once that lights up, it'll burn slower and longer. But I'm not mentioning names, but I may have left the lid off of the bucket that had our smoke pellets in it. And then I may have left the bucket exposed to the weather, and it might have rained. Long story short, I ruined those very useful smoke pellets. However, they've dried back out now, even though they are more like smoke flakes, and I'm using them sporadically, but I've already burned through them today because we've actually been through several hives today, so this is not my first hive today. Boy, this frame is not wanting to be cooperative. I know I'm in your way to be able to see what's going on, and I apologize for that, but doggone it, you only have so many angles that you can work. All right, this is just food. But as we've talked about before, that's what we expect on the outsides. So now, let's see what we've got moving further in. It's mainly empty. Looks like we had a recent hatch. They are backfilling it with nectar, which is a great sign to see. They'll fill that first before finishing to move it, move up into the storage. So they'll fill this with honey. If they're going to fill it with honey instead of egg, they'll fill it with honey, and then they'll finish up top. So that's why it takes them a little bit longer. Normally, when you've got a heavy flow going on, all of that stuff happens and it doesn't really interfere with each other. But right now, we don't have a heavy flow going on, so we have to wait for them to finish up down below. Yeah, we got some larvae here. Oh, I was worried because there's some, it looks kind of white crusty, but it's not. It's actually white and powdery. I was worried about that, but that's that DFM that we use, the microbials that helps them with their digestion. So I'm not concerned with that. That's actually quite healthy for them to be there. So we're happy with that. All right. So that looks like a hatch more than anything. Don't sting me. I feel you bumping my hand. Don't do it. Quit. Don't. Stop. I don't want to blow the smoke down into the hive too much because, of course, the queen will smell that as well, and that'll cause her to run off, make her even harder to find. And obviously, we would prefer her to be easy to find. Now, this particular queen. Why did I drone again? This particular queen is from a graft that I did last year. So she will not be marked. So she's going to be a little bit harder to spot. A lot of capped brood. It's great to see. No queen. Move, girls. Y'all know I'm trying to work there. Propolis, doggone. All right. Still with the capped brood. A little bit of backfill on honey. I don't see any egg or larva on the outside, so she's not been on this frame recently. Mainly just honey backfill. But with all this capped brood, that means we're about to have ourselves another population explosion, and that's good to see. We're getting ready to go into summer. There's not really a harvestable flow for us in the summertime, but there is still something of a flow, so that will allow them to gather and prepare for August or the fall. I have egg here. So she has been here within the last couple of days on this frame. That's great to see. I'm not ignoring y'all, I'm just focusing. Queen cups again. No queen. By the time I pull this frame out, she will have stopped because, of course, I'm going to disrupt her. But I just got to witness a bee on the frame doing the waggle dance in a figure eight. That's a really cool process. That's how they communicate with each other on direction, distance, and all kinds of stuff. It's really, really neat. Girl, thank you. All right. And I don't have egg here. You can predict all you want. These girls are going to do it the way they want to do it. And that's just all there is to it. Why did I only have egg on that one frame? Well, looky there. Oh, you know what? I bet you that was an empty frame that I gave them. Because this one, wait till you see this. Oh, y'all quit yelling at me. We told you we were coming. We told you you had an inspection. It's really your fault because you're making your queen so hard to find. Look at all that capped brood. And alive. That's awesome. And here comes another one full of capped brood. Smoke them a little bit again. Yeah. Lots of capped brood. We are going to... I just took a big old lung full of smoke. Yeah, we are about to have a big old explosion of population. That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh, feels like I'm about to get stung again on my other hand. Nope, she flew off. Look at that. Thank you, girl. They are bumping me like crazy, though. They are letting me know that they are not happy with me being in here. Again, though, a bump is a warning. It is not a stinging. It doesn't hurt. It just serves to potentially make you nervous. Lots of drone in here. Lots of pollen. So that's a pollen frame. They're using that as their insulation. Oh, I just dumped a bunch of it. My bad. And they'll turn that into what's called bee bread, and they mix that with the pollen, and the pollen and the nectar gets mixed up. And they use that for feeding the larvae. All right, so nothing in there. Well, a lot in there, just no queen. That said, I'm honestly kinda hoping that we don't find her until we get down into the bottom super, which is what we're going to next. Because that would make it easier to set that queen excluder. Oop, sorry, girl. Now we're putting these frames, just like I talked about earlier, we're putting these frames back the way we found them. Don't sting. Oh. Did y'all see that? Like 3 or 4 of them took off from the frame and landed on my finger. They didn't oh, I bet that scared the tarnations out of you. It certainly did me. Sorry, girls. Mm. Starting from the outside and working your way in, since they do traditionally, well, get out of the way, girls. Oh. Since they do traditionally use the outside frames for food, it decreases your chances of smashing or crushing larvae in the center frames. So if you are a beekeeper, you're new to it, start on the outside, especially in your brood and food chambers. You're doing them a favor. You always want to move with purpose, but you do not want to move so fast that you're getting careless. Do we have any questions on the screen yet? No? All right, cool. All right, so now we have one more super to get into. Girls, y'all have been good to me so far. I've got that one sting. She and I've already talked about that. She won't be doing that again. Ha ha ha, see what it did there? So let's hope that the rest of y'all follow her example of not stinging me anymore. That too had great weight to it. Lots and lots of honey in there and brood and all that kind of fun stuff. Do I need more? I certainly do. Good, yeah. See how they just walked right on down in there. All right. Start to the outside. Why do I have so many dead ones there? We'll get those out. All right. This side is a little bit less active. Very active, just less active than the other side. So we're going to start over here and decrease our chances of crushing any bees walking around on the frames. All right, so let the searching begin again. Anytime you're watching the videos and you see that they are showing you the queen, even my videos, that's, I'm going to call it rare that you find the queen, but I am going to certainly say it is not likely that you're going to find her on the first go. For instance, the last couple of weeks, last week, this is the second, maybe second time that we've been in this hive specifically looking for the queen. She is incredibly elusive. She doesn't like to be found, and they don't like for you to find her. So they do a very good job at keeping her out of sight. As easy as she is to spot when she's in a place to be visible, it's just really hard to get her into a place where she's visible. The wind is beginning to pick up. It's not cloudy per se, but I can tell it's kind of getting there. And we did have all that rain yesterday. So I'm surprised and pleased that they are being as gentle as they are being. I'm seeing predominantly empty frames. There are some capped brood. There's a little bit of nectar, but I'm not seeing any evidence of her in here. I have seen egg in the hive, which means that there is evidence of the queen, but I'm not seeing evidence of her all the way down here. Capped brood. Looks like my dad has pulled back up. Hello.
Hey, I got stuff for you. Stop.
Yeah, give me just a second. Guys, I'm gonna pause this, I think, and be right back. I thought you used to be able to pause it. Oops. I guess not.